Apple's iPhone 16 Pro Max is... let's start over. The newest iPhone Pro Max... Gosh, I cannot keep doing this, man. Yes, you guessed it right. Apple's new flagship phone is out. And sure, the camera bump is still a skyscraper with the same look. Sure, the bezels are thinner. Sure, you still have USB-C, and that action button is still sitting there like a glorified Bixby button, but it appears as though the only drastic change here is the name. Or is it? Right here, right now, are you thinking that we are seeing another rinse and repeat? If you're thinking yes, well, answer me this. Can your Android phone do this? Gimmick. Excuse me. Better yet, does your Android phone even have access to AI features? Like this one? Yeah? Well, actually, not this one. Actually, not any iPhone currently out. But still, eventually, when those AI features hit iPhones, you know what? I don't even know why I brought that up. Jokes aside though, this year is not about the usual upgrades, because this time the stakes are higher than usual. AI. I mean, not AI, but AI. See, Apple knows we want more, but does this half step into AI really justify that Pro Max's price tag? Well, you might actually be surprised to know that even the non-flagship ones will see this AI upgrade. So, with that, the question becomes, are we still getting the most advanced iPhone ever in this 16 Pro Max? Or just the same old rehashing of the same old iPhone with some new buzzwords sprinkled on top? Either way, today we are diving into Apple's latest leap or stumble into the future, depending on how you see that. And let's just say, it may not be quite the AI revolution you were promised. At least, not yet. But as I mentioned earlier, eventually, of course. Let's go ahead and break it down. My iPhone 16 Pro Max story begins on launch day. Not at an Apple store, but right here at home as I'm gearing up for an anniversary weekend that's about to take me and my wife all over the DC metro area. This was the perfect opportunity to jumpstart the life of this powerhouse and put it to a real-life road test across multiple cities. I'm talking urban streets, dim-lit restaurants, GPS, low battery scares, the works. And through all of this, it was right there with me the entire time. A week later, after apps, GPS, and countless camera shots, and so much more, I can confidently say that I made the right move by switching over to this phone, one of my multiple phone numbers. By the way, if this is your first time visiting the channel, welcome. Truly appreciate you being here. Please do me a favor, hit both the like and the subscribe button there. I truly appreciate that. Alright, so let's get one thing straight. I'm not saying or suggesting that the iPhone 16 Pro Max has me completely sold. I mean, let's be real. Apple isn't exactly known for shaking things up between models. So I was not expecting much in the excitement department, especially with a phone that feels more like an S model. But here's the kicker. No matter how predictable Apple can be, they always nail, year after year, reliability and value retention. The iPhone 16 Pro Max? Well, it just works flawlessly every time. And months down the line, the price will remain right up there. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the changes that Apple made this year, at least on paper. Firstly, they've toughened up the display, which by the way, is now standing at 6.9 inches, so slightly larger than this model's predecessors. Secondly, they've revamped that ceramic shield. Grade 5 titanium again, but this year Apple's gone for a more polished texture, making it feel a bit more luxurious? Pretentious, maybe. Pretentious. But I dig it. Apple claims their ceramic structure is now 50% stronger, which sounds impressive, if anyone actually knows what that means. Brightness-wise, we're still picking at that same 2000 nits in HDR, but what I've noticed is that the phone doesn't dim down as much outdoors. A pretty nice touch for when you're out in the sun. Thirdly, a new and customizable camera control button was introduced, along with a 48 megapixel ultra-wide lens and a faster sensor in the main camera. And oh, how could I forget the addition of the A18 Pro chip along with some better cooling tech. It's a new graphite cooling layer that keeps thermals, in check because, hey, no one likes throttling mid-game. Said no one about the iPhone 15 Pro Max ever, so why are we even talking about this? But you know what? I digress. So, about that A18 Pro chip, faster CPU, better GPU, enhanced AI performance, the whole 9 yards. But here's the question nobody's asking. Is performance upgrade fatigue even kicking in yet? I mean, I'm growing tired of hearing this. Think about it. Modern smartphones are already so fast and so capable, and yet here we are talking about, performance gains on a phone that will not even let you do basic split screen. Let's be honest, how many of these A18 Pro chips are gonna end up in the hands of someone who's just gonna toss it in a designer bag or, use it to text the kids about soccer practice and maybe just snap a photo of brunch? But that's just my humble take. Now, here's the real game changer. Battery life. I mean, look, I could talk about cameras, chips, and so many other aspects of this phone all day, but what really caught my attention here? The iPhone 16 Pro Max's battery lasts a whopping 2 hours longer than that of the 15 Pro Max. That's just next level performance for heavy users like myself. I mean, I'm watching shows, editing photos, scrolling late in the night, still ending the day with well over 28% battery left. That's just awesome. Now, back to that 48 megapixel ultra wide sensor. Sure, you could say 48 is better than 12, but what really matters is how it handles in low light. If you are someone who loves to tinker, you'll appreciate the subtle upgrades. They might even feel like very noticeable improvements, and this is a big but, sure, the A18 Pro might help with some complex image processing, but honestly, most people won't see a big difference from the 15 Pro Max. So if you were hoping for a big innovation or jaw-dropping innovation, well, you might feel a little underwhelmed. Now, they did indeed make improvements. They've made some improvements to reduce lens flare, and you can now shoot 4K at 120 FPS for super smooth slow motion. Still, side by side with the 15 Pro Max, the differences are negligible. They're small. Sharper? Sure. More vibrant? Kinda, but I expected a little more from this year's Pro cameras. And the new camera control feature? Yeah, I'm just gonna come out and say it. First of all, dear Apple, I know you created this thing, but newsflash to you here, buddy. It's a button. It clicks. It's a button. And it's, dare I say, a gimmick? I'm definitely disappointed here because it's not exactly the game changer Apple is making it to be. It's just a button. Now let's talk about AI, as in Apple Intelligence. you know, whatever that means. Now, that sounds like a game changer, right? Yeah, about that. You're gonna have to wait. Apple's futuristic AI suite featuring next-gen Siri, real-time translation, and a whole lot more is still in beta. And here's another kicker. It won't fully launch until sometime in October. And even then, only in the US. So if you were hoping to unlock those cutting-edge AI features today, well, let's just say you are currently out of luck. And if you happen to live outside of the US, which is the vast majority of the population, or let's just say the rest of the world probably won't see this until 2025. Yeah, I know. And, why is Apple pushing this so hard as if it's already here? I have no clue. Feels a little like false advertisement, doesn't it? Anyways, as I mentioned multiple times already, the real magic, or that real magic, might come once Apple Intelligence finally rolls out in full. But until then, this is a pretty good phone. It's not groundbreaking, definitely not. So unless you are a die-hard Apple fan or you're deep in the ecosystem, meaning you own all of the latest Apple devices and you just want the latest phone, I'd say it's worth holding off of this one. Anyways, that's just my take. If you have any comments, any questions, things that you'd like for me to test on this phone, feel free to drop those questions or comments in the comment section. I'm going to catch you in the comment section like I always do. Make sure to watch the other videos that I'm going to have somewhere on the screen here. I appreciate you watching this video up until now. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Appreciate you watching. I'm going to catch you in the comment section like I always do. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. Up until that next video, of course, as always, stay safe out there.